Discover the courage to stand up.
Jesus gave his life for me, and I'll give my life to him.
I'm Not Ashamed.
Morning, Facebook folks.
PG-13, maybe inappropriate for children under 13. Now playing. For tickets and showtimes, go to I'mNotAshamedFilm.com.
All right,
First in financial news, this is Business 1110. Now you know which way the market is going. Let's find out how your traffic is flowing. This is Business 1110 traffic.
Problems continue to be seen on 45
How's the
Gulf
volume?
Freeway, but your outbound accident at the
It
Beltway
sounds
did
good.
get cleared out of the
Good.
way. Just minor slows are going to be left. Everybody is starting to pick up the pace a little bit. Now, a little bit further out, you're still going to have to deal with some rubbernecking slows and some smoke that's filling the air. It's on the inbound side of 45 Gulf Freeway feeder road lanes where they've got that vehicle fire scene being worked on. But again, it is grabbing attention and still billowing some smoke into the air. So both directions are going to see some slows there. Baytown East Freeway, your accident continues to be over on the right shoulder right as you get to Crescent, keeping it a little bit slow. 25 minutes from Magnolia into downtown.
Wash surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water while preparing food. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year, and roughly 3,000 will die. But you can keep your family safer by cleaning with soap and water as you go. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Coin collectors. In 1986, President Ronald Reagan signed into law the American Gold Eagle $50 coin as a mint store of wealth. Today, the Westminster Mint has the 2016 $50 American Gold Eagle coin minted in 1 ounce of pure solid gold for $1,350. This beautiful $50 gold coin is the special 30th anniversary of the series and is certified in perfect mint state 70 condition by PCGS. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with 70 being absolute perfection. These limited edition $50 American Gold Eagles are minted from 1 ounce of pure solid gold and are guaranteed for weight and purity by the U.S. government. If you want the American Eagle $50 gold coin at the absolute lowest price, call the Westminster Mint today at 800-301-3868. 800-301-3868. We also offer fast, insured delivery and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call 800-301-3868.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Why? Because you can save
All right, we got 60
45% on
seconds.
packages compared to your high-priced cable bill. Wow. Take those giant scissors out and cut the cable and save with Dish TV. Plus, you get a free DVR upgrade to record your favorite shows and free installation. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch TV for free on your mobile device. Act fast. You can save hundreds of dollars. Does your cable company do that for you? I don't think so. Get all the best TV programming at your fingertips at a fraction of the price of cable TV. So say adios, arrivederci, goodbye to the high cable bill and save up to 45% on Dish TV packages today. These are limited time offers and can change at any time. Call fast. 800-344-2066. 800-344-2066. 800-344-2066. That's 800-344-2066.
The following program does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of the staff, management, or ownership of this station.
It's time to get on the right path with Right Path Real Estate Radio with Tom Perry. Get the answer to your question that's keeping you from taking action and succeeding today. Get ready. The guy
right,
that
Tom,
will put
here we
your
go.
fears
Hot
behind
mics
you is
in
on
5,
the air now.
4,
Taking calls
3,
at 713-785-1817. Toll free 877-881-0271. Now here's your host, Tom Perry.
Hey, welcome to the show, Right Path Real Estate Radio. Need to adjust the microphone. That was a hard piece. Sorry about that. So 713-785-1817. That's our phone number, 713-785-1817. Tell you all the ways that you can listen. We're on, I had a person call in and I asked him if they were listening to our radio show, and he goes, "No, man, I'm in Oregon. The radio wave doesn't reach that far." And I'm like, "Yeah, but the internet does. I think you have internet up there." And so you can listen in on iHeartRadio. You can listen in on TuneIn Radio. You can listen in on business1110ktek.com. You can watch us live on the Book of Faces. I've got quite a few people joining our live feed right now. Mahesh just joined. Valley's there. Jamie's watching. Hey, good morning, Ginger and Tang. What's up, Mary? So I could keep going on and on and on. So anyhow, so there's lots of ways to get to us. And then, I was at Rudy's having dinner last night and saw a guy that I know, and he goes, "Hey, I keep forgetting about your radio show." And I said, well, easy solution for that. Just pull out your smartphone app right now, go to the text messaging app, and put in the phone number 95577. That's all you need. It's 5 digits. 5 digits is all you need. It's not the full 10, so just 95577. Text the word LISTEN, LISTEN, and you get a reminder just 5 minutes before the call. And then Jamie does a great job of actually putting in a link that you can actually click on the link, and it goes straight to, I believe, the Business 1110 KTEK live feed. So you can just listen through that. And then also, we've been wholesaling quite a few properties between sellusyourhouse.com and HoustonHouseBuyers.com. I think currently we have in Houston House Buyers 20 some odd properties that we're in the process of fixing and flipping right now. And so it's not like we're not, closing on a bunch of properties and then flipping them ourselves. But, we oftentimes will contract more in a month than what we can actually physically do. Just in terms of, managing the process and all that kind of stuff. So we wholesale properties. So if you want to get on our buyers list, the easiest way to do that, 2 ways. One is buyers list at HoustonHouseBuyers.com. Just buyers list, BUYERSLIST at HoustonHouseBuyers.com. The other way to get on it is text the word property, PROPERTY, it's not plural, just singular, to 95577. And you should get a response back saying, hey, welcome to the buyer's list, et cetera, et cetera. It'll ask for your name and your email address, and that's it. And we don't do any kind of spamming or selling that list or anything like that. It's just strictly to get properties. And I think we've sent out 7 or 8 this week. So if you're selling, but I can't find any deals, then get on our buyer's list because we send out deals. So today is Thursday. It's the last Thursday of the month of October. And so that means for us, Jason and I are doing last-minute preparations for the big class. We're going to be here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday doing our weekend retreat. So there are, as I understand it, just a few spots left. So if you haven't signed up and you want to go this weekend, we are still available. Now, what we talk about in this real estate show, what I say that Jason and I are experts in, we know a lot about single-family buy and hold. We know a lot about buy, fixing, and flipping, and we know a lot about wholesaling. So if you want to talk anything about any of those different subjects, we're primarily a call-in show. I can talk for the full hour by myself. I can give y'all good information, but it's not as much fun as if I'm not, as when I'm answering questions. So call-in number 713-785-1817. But you might be saying to yourself, but I'm afraid to call. Put that fear behind you. Because if you're too afraid to call, you might be too afraid to do real estate because you got to talk to people to do real estate. And if you're afraid to talk to people, then real estate's going to be a very, very difficult business because you've either got to be talking to the sellers or you've got to be talking to the contractors or you've got to be talking to the buyers on the other end or to real estate agents or to title companies or on and on and on. Now, do you have to do all those things yourself? No. One of the things that we do is we teach people how to run this as a business, and so we outsource things. Jason just posted a video I saw, and he was talking about that we're looking for a marketing person, for example. And, we're looking for someone that's a 9 or a 10 at that task because Jason and I are not 9s or 10s at that task. And, I'm a 9 or a 10 at some things, and Jason's a 9 or 10, fortunately, at some different things. And when we bring people on, we try and bring people on that are 9s or 10s at what they do. So that being said, we're doing last-minute preparations. I know that we'll be checking into a hotel tonight that's right next to the event. We'll be doing our radio show live from the class tomorrow morning. So we'll actually start the class at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning when we go live on the radio. So for those of y'all on Facebook, you'll actually be able to see the first hour of the class, what that's like if you're not there. And then for people on the radio, you just get to listen to it. And so, it'll obviously be recorded and all of that. So you'll be able to watch it again and again, see what a typical class. But here's how we normally start it out. We normally ask the question to all the people who are there because we recognize there's different skill sets, different things that people are looking for, and there's different stages or levels of experience where people are. Some people are brand new, have never done a deal before. They want to add real estate to their investing portfolio. Some people are more experienced. Maybe they've flipped a couple of houses, but they haven't ever made any money on those, or maybe made a little bit of money but not enough to live on. and they want to try and, make more per deal. And then there's some people that have done a lot of deals, and they're trying to learn how to get to the next level. Maybe they do 2 or 3 deals a month, or maybe 4 or 5 deals a year. And then what they'll do is, they want to just take it to the next level. Sorry, I got distracted. Mahesh actually sent in a question via Facebook. How do you effectively follow up with the leads? And first thing that we do is all leads are answered live through a service that we use. And then we immediately have a person that will call them back and verify the information and actually schedule the appointment. So that's an in-house full-time employee that we have that does nothing but spend time on the phone. And then our sales acquisition guys, they schedule a time to go out, and actually it's already scheduled for them because the appointment setter actually schedules it. And basically all we're doing is we're screening for equity. And that's the process that we use. But, I was talking to one of our mastermind students. I think it was, actually, I didn't speak to him directly, but I heard the story from Jason when he was doing our mastermind class on Monday, that we have a mastermind student. He said, I just did a mailing and I had 20 leads. And so Jason said, if you've got 20 leads that you haven't called, you need to get off this mastermind class right now. And the highest priority thing that you could be doing right now is calling those leads. So leads are like gold. You've got to pick those up and handle them immediately. You do not want to let those sit and sit and sit. You want to follow up. They always say the fortune's in the follow-up, and I believe that. So you've got to be able to get a hold of these people. And what we do is we try and collect their cell phone number and their email address when they're coming in through our answering service, and so that we can follow up those 2 different ways. And so we will call, we will text. One of the things that I love about texting is that oftentimes when people get in a financially desperate situation, now I will say this, one of the mistakes that I think a lot of people believe in our business is that you've got to find people either in pre-foreclosure or, in financially desperate situations so that you kind of have them over a barrel, so to speak. But that's not at all. That's not our philosophy. Now, do we buy sometimes from people that are in pre-foreclosure? Yes, occasionally. But I won't say that that's a huge percentage of the number of people that we buy from. So are those, possibilities out there? Yes, but it's not really our target market. And what I find is that when you're going at the approach of looking for people that are in financially desperate situation, those are some of the hardest people to reach on the phone. Because if they're behind in their mortgage, they're probably behind in all of their other bills as well. And so what I have a feeling, the reason why this question is coming up is that when you call these people, they don't answer the phone. And so what we find is you've got to have their cell phone number. And when you're calling that and they don't answer, the next thing that we do is we hang up the phone. First off, we leave a message, but we don't ever expect to get a call back from the message. But we text them. And here's the reason why, the logic behind that. If you're texting someone, you're not a bill collector. And the reason why is because I don't know of any bill collector right now that's gone to texting yet. I don't know if there's a regulation or what it is, or if they just don't have the technology or they haven't figured it out yet. But and I'm not hopefully giving them any ideas or anything like that. But as far as I know, bill collectors call and call only, or they'll send letters and things like that, but they will not text. And so if there's a text coming in, and what I find is, just from a psychological standpoint, when people are avoiding phone calls, they're not even checking their messages because their friends don't leave messages, their friends text. And so if they're getting a phone call and they don't recognize the number, and so then they don't answer it, so then it goes to voicemail. If they're behind on their mortgage, then they're behind on their electric bill, they're behind on their cable bill, they're behind on their credit card bills, they're behind on their student loans if they have those. They're behind on every single thing because the last thing you get behind on is your mortgage. And so if you're behind on all of those different bills, then and you're avoiding those phone calls, then you're also not checking the messages because all the messages are like, hey, Mrs. Johnson, this is, Comcast calling and, call us back because you owe us money. I mean, like, who wants to listen to those kind of messages, right? So they don't even check their messages. So if you're leaving them a message, so we find that texting is a very valuable follow-up. So one of the things that we're going to be talking about in Mastermind, how we start our classes. In fact, tomorrow morning when you tune in on the radio show, what we're going to be talking about, I'm going to leave this as a little teaser, And we're going to go into the break just a couple of seconds early. For those of y'all listening live on the Book of Faces, y'all can hear Nikki giving me the warning. So you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. That's 713-785-1817. See you on the other side of the break. Mahesh, hopefully that answered your question.
Join a group of hardworking investors willing to share their knowledge and experience with others. We're not just another guru-driven club. We're a community of Houston's most successful real estate investors. Discover more at richradio.org. The Realty Investment Club of Houston, the Rich Club, has taught more real estate investors than any other program in the state. Join the Rich Club and become part of the most informed community in Houston. Quickly discover your investment options. Receive the information you need to get started. Learn what it takes to avoid the pitfalls of real estate investment. You have questions? We have answers. If you're considering investments in Houston's real estate, then richradio.org is the quickest way to join the community and learn how to make money in today's market. Learn more about the education and community at richradio.org. Join our community to learn what it takes to make money in Houston. Visit richradio.org. That's RICH radio.org.
Did you know that there are over $24 trillion in retirement accounts in the U.S.? Imagine if you could use someone's IRA to fund all of your deals. Well, you can. Quest IRA is based locally here in Houston, Texas. At Quest IRA, we offer retirement accounts that can be used to invest in real estate, promissory notes, private entities, and much more. Many of our clients loan money from their IRAs to fund real estate deals all over the country. We don't sell any investments or give advice. However, we do hold free networking events, weekly educational classes, and free consultations with an IRA specialist. For more information, visit our website at questira.com or call us at 1-855-FUN-IRAs. To tap into the $24 trillion in retirement accounts in the U.S., call Quest IRA at 1-855-FUN-IRAs or go to our website, questira.com.
Investor loans offering up to 100% financing are still available. You just have to know where to look. Look no further than Noble Mortgage. Noble Mortgage is a full-service mortgage company that's been helping investors since 2003. Noble Mortgage offers up to 100% financing to investors that covers purchase, repairs, and closing costs. In addition to private money, Noble Mortgage offers conventional loans, FHA, and even no-income documentation loans for both residential and commercial properties. Call and ask about our 5-point guarantee, which includes free pre-qualifications within 2 business days. Call 713-680-8100 or visit noblemoney.com. That's noblemoney.com. Our team has over 50 years experience in the mortgage industry. Call us today, 713-680-8100, or visit us on the web, noblemoney.com, noblemoney.com.
NMLS 292143, 8203 Willow Place Drive, Houston, Texas, 77070.
If you're using drugs
All right, you got
or are
60
addicted
seconds.
to pills and alcohol, you need help. You know that your addiction is harming your life, your job opportunities, and most importantly, your loved ones. You've probably already suffered from addiction's effects, and you know you need help. But breaking free from addiction is hard, even if you know it's what
So,
you
Nikki,
need to
did
do.
you break
And
free of
sometimes
addiction?
It's just too hard to do
Yes,
alone.
I did.
Good.
You need
So
a
the
hand
program
from
worked
someone
for you?
who knows what you're going
Did it
through.
work for me?
Someone
Yeah.
who's there to help. That's where we come in. The Kick Addiction Network specializes in getting you the help you need to beat addiction once and for all. Our network of treatment specialists can help you get clean and have the experience and track records to show for it. And if you're struggling with addiction and have private insurance, your help may be fully covered. No, you're not alone. Take one small step
All right,
and
10
get your
seconds.
life back on track. Give us a call 24/7 at 1-800-KICK-ADDICTION. 1-800-KICK-ADDICTION. That's 1-800-KICK-ADDICTION.
All right, Tom. Hot mics in 5, 4,
1110.
3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. 713-785-1817. So here's how we start the class tomorrow. So we'll be live on the radio. We're going to start at 9 o'clock. We're going to have this huge, it's not a whiteboard. It's one of those, one of those little white paper pads. And up at the top, we're going to ask for questions from the students. And basically, we're going to ask, hey, what is the one thing that you would like to know the answer to that you feel like is keeping you from either buying your first property, or if you're at one property a month, or let's say one property a year, helping you get to the next level of what it is that you want to do. So whether it's how do you find a deal, how do you market, how do you fund a deal, how do you market the deal on the backside. So really, that's really all real estate is about, is finding deals, funding deals, and marketing deals. Now, there are subcategories within each of those. Once you find a deal, from the marketing standpoint, how do you present the offer to the seller in a way that's going to be palatable to them? How do you evaluate the ARV of the property? How do you evaluate what the rehab costs are going to be? All of those different steps. And then how do you fund the deal? Is it a hard money play? And a lot of those things are going to have to do with what your exit strategy is. Is it private money? Is it hard money? Is it going to be bank financing? Those kind of things. And then how do you market the deals on the backside? And again, that's going to be, are you wholesaling the deal? Are you keeping it for buy and hold? Are you keeping it for a buy, fix, and flip? What kind of insurance do you need? Or, should you use a property management company? All of those kind of things, people get stuck along the way in the process. And one of the things that Jason are working on putting together, we're talking about writing a book based on, what we see people are doing. And it's what's going to be fascinating about it. It's going to be, part Tony Robbins. It's going to be part Brian Tracy. It's going to be part Jim Rohn. It's going to be part Robert Kiyosaki. It's going to be part Flip from Rick Villani. It's going to be, it's like there's so many different, what you realize is there's so many different steps to, it's going to be part Dave Ramsey, because the reality is that it's hard to do this business with no money. Is it impossible? No, it's not impossible, but it is hard. Can you have just a great attitude and be successful? Probably not. Can you have just a great skill set and be successful? If that's all you had, probably not. It takes a good attitude, a good skill set, a little bit of money helps, some business experience helps. But if you don't have any one of those things, you can learn those things. And so that's what I love about the style of education that Jason and I do is it's not a cookie cutter style. Even in our mastermind group, we have different mastermind students that have come with different skill sets, different levels of skill when it comes to sales, or different levels of skill when it comes to marketing, or different levels of skill or experience or amount of money that they've accumulated already prior to this. And so we're coaching each one of those a little bit differently. And so one of the things I feel like makes us unique in our process that we do, because we're a very process-oriented business, and I think all business is about having processes, right? You've got to have steps in the process in order to be successful. It's one of the things that made Fast Track so successful is that I was able to reverse engineer what's the process that needs to be in place in order to be able to effectively and efficiently be able to provide as quickly as possible and as accurately as possible a scope of work that an investor and the contractor could agree on, so that there's no ambiguity or, you get down to the end of the job where you go, I thought this was included, and I thought y'all were going to be replacing this toilet, and it seems like where's it on the scope of work? There's so many times, with Jose in a truck, his scope of work is, just like we're going to do the bathroom, and we're going to do the bedroom, and we're going to do the kitchen. And it's like, well, what does that mean? It's not specific enough. So there leaves a lot of ambiguity. And when there's ambiguity in the conversation, it leaves for a lot of trouble in the relationship is probably the best way to put it. And so what happens in that situation is that, if you tell me that the whole kitchen is covered, I'm going to maybe assume that basically if I'm the investor, I'm going to assume that everything is covered, right? I'm going to skew that in my favor. And the contractor may be thinking something completely and totally different. Like, well, everything in the kitchen means only the stuff that's broken. And I may be thinking, well, that means new appliances and a new sink and a new faucet and a new thumb turn valves. And it's like, what you want to do is eliminate that ambiguity, right? So we had to create a process where we could say, hey, here's our scope of work, and it is so detailed and it's priced in such a way that if something is in our scope of work, then consider it included in the bid. okay? But if it's not on the scope of work, then we didn't allow any money at all in your budget or our budget in order to do that. So it's your responsibility as much as our responsibility to go through that scope of work and say, hey, this is what needs to be covered. And if you see something missing, or by the same token, if you see something included that you don't want included, now's the time to do that. Let's take that out, right? And then if you want to add something, you go, you know what? I don't see the ceiling fan in the master bedroom included. Okay, hey, let's put that in. And if you want that in, let's add it. That way it's on our scope of work to get done, and it's also priced in appropriately. And so it's important as you're building a business that you build a process for each one of those steps. And that's one of the things that I see that a lot of business owners, whether it's a restaurant business owner, whether it's, a dry cleaners, whether it's a printing shop, what you find is when you walk into a business and you don't like the level of service that they're providing, it's oftentimes because they're kind of making up things as they go along. They don't have a process, or if they do have a process, it's not being followed on a consistent basis. And when you're first starting in a business, it's hard to know all the things that you don't know. And so one of the things that I've always loved about, learning about business and things like that is I realized I didn't have to know it all, because I could study people that had gone before me and learn from their mistakes. And, so as a result of that, became a very avid reader, because I realized that the more knowledge that I could grow. Now, I was also taking action while I was reading. I find some people become permanent students. And, we're not looking for people in our class to be like, educational junkies. I know some people that have gone to they've gone to Robert Kiyosaki, and they've gone to, fortune builders and all, a lot of the different groups around town and things like that. And they go to every guru that comes into town. And, you ask, well, how long have you been, learning? And they said, well, I've been doing this for 2 years. Well, have you bought your first house yet? No. And it's like, what? I mean, that's a problem. So anyhow, so we're going to have our class. What we want to do is we want to help students actually buy properties. And if you've not ever bought a property before, then you might want to look at, we've got just a couple of slots left. I know that you can contact Jamie at Right Path Real Estate, or you can also go to rightpathrealestate.com or rightpathrealestateradio.com, and I know that there's a sign-in page on there. John Fern is saying I can't hear you. Is that right? No, that can't be right. Surely it's not. Well, anyhow. Hey, Nikki, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So I wonder why Facebook's not hearing me. So, well, if you're watching me on Facebook, then you can always go to TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio. You can go to Business 1110 KTEK, and there'll be a little bit of I promise you this, it's not in sync, because Facebook's got a different lag time than what the radio station has and things like that. So there are other ways to hear. We're primarily an audio show. We just add Facebook for the video. Ginger's saying she can hear me. So, John, maybe that's, oh well. So, and everybody else is saying they can hear me. So apparently, hey, John, turn up the volume. Maybe it's on your end. Anyhow, so thanks, Bruce. Thanks, Mahesh. Thanks for letting me know. So what I want to know is, from all the people that are listening, does anybody want to call in and ask that question that you feel like is preventing you from getting to the next level? It could be a financing question. It could be a which is funding, right? Or it could be a marketing question. So it's like, if it's finding funding or marketing deals, I'm sure that you have. I can hear you. He may need to take a ringer off mute if watching tablet on phone. Okay. Hey, this is all great info. I love Facebook because you get instant feedback. So that's awesome. So 713-785-1817. That's our call-in number, 713-785-1817. It's not that I can't fill the hour with information, but I want to make sure that I'm answering questions. Oh, all the way down to Vidertown. All right. I appreciate it. So, welcome to the show. So if you've got any questions about finding deals, funding deals, marketing deals, give us a call, 713-785-1817. Hey, Nikki, let's go in a little bit early, and then, all right, thanks. So we'll go in now.
Mic's off.
Thanks. I got to take a quick break.
You're good.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 833-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties, whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab. No more managing it yourself. No more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992.
Rehab loans, conventional loans, FHA, and no-income documentation loans can seem scary unless you have the right mortgage company to guide you through the process. Since 2003, Noble Mortgage has been helping investors just like you. Whether rehabbing houses, buying your first home, rental, or commercial property, Noble Mortgage offers up to 100% financing. Call Noble Mortgage at 713-680-8100 or visit noblemoney.com. That's noblemoney.com.
NMLS 292143, 8203 Willow Place Drive, Houston, Texas, 77070.
From Conroe to Galveston, Orange to Flatonia, and all points in between, Texas General Insurance Agency is trusted by individuals and businesses across the great state of Texas. Whether you're searching for the best auto insurance in Fort Bend, a flood policy for a Galveston Beach property, or coverage for your rental and investment homes in Houston, Texas General Insurance Agency understands your unique needs. Throughout the Lone Star State, their experienced and trusted independent agents offer guidance to clients on the risk-based needs associated with auto and home, investment properties, commercial, and farm and ranch coverage. Their commitment to quality and service allows them to compare multiple markets, coverage, and price to give you the best possible value. Texas General Insurance Agency appreciates the opportunity to learn how they can work for you. Call one of their experienced agents today at 713-622-5977. That's
Hey, Tom.
713-622-5977. Or go to TexasGeneralInsurance.com.
The Realty Investment Club of Houston has taught more real estate investors than any other program in the state. Come check us out at richradio.org. If you're considering learning how to invest in real estate, then richradio.org is the quickest way to learn how to make money in the Houston market. We're not just another guru-driven club. We're a community of Houston's most successful real estate investors. Join our community to learn what it takes to make money in Houston. Visit richradio.org. That's R-I-C-H, radio.org.
Do you want to learn how to buy 200 houses in less than 3 years? Well, folks, we've done it. This is Jason Bible of Right Path Real Estate. We've got a weekend retreat coming up October 28th, 29th, and 30th here in Houston, Texas at Memorial City Center. We're teaching our students how to find, fund, and market for real estate deals. So if you want to learn how to do 200 houses like we have, come to that event. Go to rightpathrealestate.com or give us a call, 281-888-9555 to sign up for our weekend retreat.
A reminder, we have a free Money Matters Retirement Seminar, 7 p.m. Wednesday, November 2nd, Pearland, 1 p.m. Saturday, November 5th, The Woodlands, or Wednesday, November 9th, Katy. If you're retired or retiring soon, don't miss it. Learn to help protect your retirement from a stock market crash, what you can do to properly diversify your retirement plan, the best time to take Social Security, 5 strategies to help reduce income taxes, plus more. Seating is limited, so make sure to register at moneymatters.net. That's moneymatters.net, or call 800-994-0302.
Are you a realtor or seller that is concerned about the new trade rules and closing on time? I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer at Legacy Mutual Mortgage, and we have mastered the 30-day close. We close on time, accurately, and with tons of communication. You'll have a dedicated team of a coordinator and a contract-to-close associate. Give me a call today at 713-579-3611, and let's talk about how we can help you on your next transaction.
Equal Housing Opportunity
All right,
Lender.
Tom, here we
NMLS
go. Hot mics in
514497.
5, 4,
This is
3,
Business 1110.
2, 1.
Welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. Understand we have a caller on the line. Mahesh, welcome to the show.
Hello, Tom. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning.
Thanks for answering that follow-up question. One of the question I have is, whenever we get a lead, we follow with the lead on a regular basis, and we give an offer, maybe more than one offer, and pretty much sometimes it is a stalemate, saying that the sellers will say, "Oh, I need this price. I cannot reduce anything, but I need to sell this house." That we are kind of a deadlock. How do you handle those kind of?
When you say that you're in a deadlock, that you've made an offer that's below what they want to accept, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah. Then you know what I find, and I had this situation yesterday. I went out and looked at a property personally yesterday, And honestly, I feel comfortable on this house at about $28,000. And they claim that they've got an offer at $32,000. And I just don't feel comfortable at $32,000. Okay? And so what I realize is that, first off, I'm totally comfortable with the fact that I'm not going to get every single house. Now, I'm going to continue to follow up with this person until we no longer, until it either sells to somebody else or she sells it to me, right? Because at the end of the day, she's got to sell this house. I mean, it's just sitting there. It's vacant. It's been abandoned. It's been vandalized, and it will continue to be vandalized and will continue to deteriorate until she sells it. So she's got to sell it to either me or somebody else. And it's behind in taxes, and it's had the air conditioning system already stolen. People started stealing the wiring out of the house until they figured out that the wiring was actually aluminum and not copper. And they're like, oh, I can only imagine what that was like when they were, in there doing that, going, oh, dang it, it's not even copper wiring. And what's so crazy is when they steal copper, out of the electrical system, they only get about $30 for all the copper and all that work. And it probably takes like 2 hours to strip all the copper out. And I'm like, dude, $15 an hour, really? I mean, is that all is that all your time's worth? So anyhow, so what I realized is that when I started with the numbers, and I just really walked her through very methodically, and what I said was, hey, I think your house is worth about $75,000 if it's fully fixed up. And it's about a 1,500 square foot house. And so I think it's going to need about $30,000 worth of repairs. Well, if I sell the house for $75,000, then it's going to cost me about $7,500, and I'm going to have some holding costs, and I'm going to have $30,000 worth of repairs. And it's like, hey, there's no money in this deal for me at this point. If I pay you $32,000, there's no money. I mean, it's so minuscule, and the margins are so tight. And she said, you know what? I totally agree, but I've got this offer at $32,000. Then I started analyzing. Hey, let's take a look at the offer, and she didn't actually show me the offer itself, but over the phone, I had her pull out the offer. They had actually sent her a contract, which she had not signed yet, and they sent it on a Trek 1-4. And I said, hey, a couple of ways that you can tell if an offer is serious is how much earnest money are they putting down. A lot of wholesalers are out there, and they'll put down zero earnest money or $5 or $10 or something like that, which, if they don't buy the property at $32,000, what are they at risk? Nothing. And so if it's a situation where you're in a competitive bid and your offer is less than another offer that they've gotten, that's one situation. The only thing that I can do is just be able to have them, make sure that the person that's bidding that amount is putting up a significant amount of earnest money so that they're serious. I mean, to show people that we're serious before, I know that we've made a $35,000 offer on a property, and we've put down $35,000 of earnest money. I mean, that shows that we're going to definitely close on the property, right? I mean, we in Houston House Buyers, we have never, ever failed to close on a property, provided that the seller could provide a clean title. And I don't know that any other wholesaler out there can make that kind of claim. And so when we're looking at a seller in the eye and we're saying, I commit to buy this property at this price, we've done it 100% of the time. So if you're in a competitive bid situation where it's that, now, if it's a situation where I know recently there was one of our mastermind students that they were asking me a question that, this person owed like $91,000 on this house, and where they really needed to be when they looked at the ARV and when they looked at where they needed to be at like $78,000 on this offer. So unless the seller's willing to come up with $13,000 of equity, then it's like, well, if they're not able to bring up $13,000 to the closing table, they're not going to be able to do the deal. So the first thing that we're always screening for on all of our leads is, do they have equity? And if they don't have equity, then it's going to be difficult to sell at the price that I need to buy at in order to make the deal work, right? And so it depends on so do you have a specific situation that you're thinking of where you kind of come at an impasse in that situation?
Yes, I do. I'm working with the seller. He wants about $150 for the house, and the ARV is around $185, and I'm offering about $125, and it needs about $25,000 repairs.
Yeah, now they want $150, and they came up with that number just because that's what they feel like it's worth, right? So all I do in a situation like that is I run down two tracks and I say, okay, if the house is worth 185, either they can do this and I'll give you an example of a house that we just did on a property that we bought. So I was meeting with a friend of mine. We've known each other for about 20 years, and unfortunately his mother-in-law just passed away. And so he's got a house that's probably worth $300,000 if the property were retail ready. Well, it needs a lot of work. I mean, it needs about $90,000 worth of work. And how I started out with is let's start with the end in mind. Whether we sell the house for $300,000 down the road or they sell the house for $300,000 down the road, we're both going to have a sales cost. And we calculate our sales cost at 10%. That means that I don't stick $300,000 in my pocket. I lose $30,000 in expenses right off the top. But so does he. So at that point in time, whether we do the deal or he does the deal, we both end up with $270,000. Next thing I do is, we agreed, and we have a process for how we walk through what the repairs are. We agreed that it needed at least $90,000, and that's $90,000 based on our level of experience and being able to do it with, investor remodeling, remodelers and things like, investor contractors, investor-friendly contractors, probably the best way to put it. At $270,000, that leaves me with $180,000. So I'm at $180,000, and I've not calculated my holding costs or my profit. So I'm able to be very, very transparent with the seller of what my business expenses are in order to get down to my number. And if he just doesn't like my number, then he doesn't like my number. Then we have to, agree to disagree in that situation. So on that situation, I'll just let it go. So thanks, Mahesh. Hopefully that answered your question. So I understand we have another caller on the line. Eric, welcome to the call.
Thank you, Tom. Yes, hi.
Hi, what's up, Eric?
I had a question. I kind of guess what's preventing me from getting started is kind of understanding the difference of buying an investment property with a hard money loan. My only other experience has been I bought the house that we live in currently.
Yeah.
And it was a long process. We had a realtor. They had a realtor. We had to line up financing, and it took like a month or like 6 weeks to get it all done. If you could just kind of walk through the process of, making a little, how's it quicker doing an investment property versus buying the house you live in?
Yeah, great question.
And what are you responsible in as a investor?
Yeah, so great question. First thing that I would do is if I were starting to shop for the first house that I'm going to flip, for example, I would call, Noble Money is one of our vendor sponsors. They're a hard money lender, and a hard money lender means that they're an asset-based lender. They want to make sure that you can afford to pay the interest payments while you have the loan, but it's designed to be like a 6-month loan. So they're not really looking as closely at your credit, your job history, all those kind of things. Here's the real question is, if here's a property that we just bought. When it's fully fixed up, it's $300,000, and it needs about $90,000 of the rehab. If I can buy that property for $110,000, would you lend money on it if you had an extra $110,000 and charge me 10 or 12% interest? Would you feel safe and secure with that?
I would say so. Yeah.
What if I have bad credit? Do you care?
Probably not as much.
Probably not, because you could turn around and sell that property for $115,000, $120,000, get your $110,000 back, right?
Right. And
so then as I'm doing rehab to the property, you would reimburse me for those expenses for the rehab. If I put $30,000 in it, now I've got, a $110,000 house that I've also added an additional $30,000. You probably loan me that additional $30,000 at an interest rate, and then I keep on going, and we end up borrowing $200,000 on a house that's worth $300,000. Are you still safe and secure on that number?
Yes.
So it's not as, that's completely different than when you're lending on a house where you're only putting 3% down or 5% down, and there's a lot more risk to the mortgage company. They're going to want to see what is your debt-to-income ratio, and they're also realizing that they're committing to that mortgage product for like 30 years, right?
Right.
And this is only a 6-month commitment. So worst case scenario, it's a little bit like a pawn shop. Honestly, you know how a pawn shop works, right? You take in a piece of jewelry, and let's say it's worth $1,000, and that's like a fair, like they could turn around and sell it within 72 hours for $1,000. Maybe it's really worth $1,500, but they could sell it quick for $1,000, right? Mm-hmm. Well, a pawn shop may only give you $400 on pawn for that. You come back, pay out the $400, so it's an asset-based loan. So hard money lenders work a lot like an asset-based loan. That's exactly what they are. They work a lot like a pawn shop. They don't care what your credit is. They don't care what your job history is. They're going to look at those things. They're required to look at those things, right?
Right.
But they're loaning it so the transaction can go really, really fast.
Okay.
Because they're using the asset, the piece of property that you're buying. Now, if you're paying $290,000 for a $300,000 house, they're not going to lend you that. They're only going to lend you 70% of the after repair value, and then they're going to want to hold back whatever repair dollars you're going to need. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Hopefully that answers your question.
Well, yeah, I guess I was getting more at who handles all the dotting the I's and crossing the T's of the buying process. Is that the lending company then, or is that the title company, or?
Yeah, so but all of those. So in conjunction, we've never closed a property in Houston House Buyers without going through a title company. So the first thing you do is you got to get pre-approved with the mortgage company. You got to get your financing in place. Okay. And then you start looking for the properties. And once you find a deal, you're going to make an offer. And so you can either do that with an agent or you can make the offer directly. Right?
Okay.
And so you can write up a contract when you make up the offer, and then that's gonna if your offer gets accepted, then that'll go to the title company. And so all of those same players are involved, but they can all work at a much faster pace when it's an investment deal because they don't have the same kind of loan disclosure docs that are going to be in a traditional mortgage. They don't have to do all those other things. Now, the mortgage company, the hard money lender, they're still going to require an appraisal, but they get the appraisals done a lot faster. They're still going to require a survey, those kind of things. All of those pieces, it's just the whole process moves a lot faster. Okay. All right. Well, thanks. Hopefully that answered your question.
Yes, it did.
So I'm going to answer Ginger asked a question on Facebook. I'm not ignoring you, but if you're wholesaling a deal, how do you get your earnest money back? So if I put down $2,000 on earnest money, and I'm wholesaling the deal, then I get that earnest money back. That first off, I'm going to collect earnest money from the person I'm wholesaling it to, and we require $2,500 of non-refundable earnest money. So I get that back, and so then there's another $500 that has to be credited from my buyer on the HUD. And so that's how I get it back. I get it when I get the earnest money from the person I'm wholesaling it to. And then at the closing, everything gets washed out. So, and then Bruce says, can you speak about financing for a house you want to use as a rental? So I think it's a really smart idea. Most of the time that when you're going to buy rentals at the best prices, they're going to need rehabs also. And so it's best to purchase a property with hard money so that you can get not only the purchase price, but the rehab dollars built into the loan. And so if you're going with a traditional conventional financing or a Fannie Mae financing product, something like that, then they're only going to fund 80% of your purchase price. So let's say I've got a house that's worth $120,000 and I'm buying it at 70%, which is $84,000, but it needs $20,000 worth of rehab. So I'm actually buying it at $64,000 plus the $20,000 in rehab. So I'm all in at $84,000, which is 70%. Well, I can borrow 100% of that from a hard money lender and then do a rate and term refinance out. I'll borrow the entire $84,000 from a Fannie Mae mortgage lender. And there's some great lenders out there. And I'm running up against a break. So we're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. I'll continue on the other side of the break.
Mike's off.
Thank you. Hey, Nikki, that worked great. Texting me about Eric.
Accurately, on time, and with lots of communication on your home purchase.
I was thinking
you've come to the right
did you
place.
Get a new phone number?
I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior
I don't know
Loan
why I was
Officer
thinking
with
you did, but I
Legacy
was like, I hope
Mutual
this is the
Mortgage.
right number.
Our goal
Yeah,
is to give
no.
our borrowers
I got a
and
new
referral
phone
partners an
because I
amazing
have one of those,
experience during the loan process.
soon to explode
My
Note
team
7s,
believes in putting people
and then I had to replace it with Gen 2 of Note 7, but now they say those are ready to explode as well.
And recognition for going the extra mile for you.
So all Note 7s have been recalled, whether they were replacement Note 7s or original Note 7s.
To find out the simple steps to get started.
I don't know yet because I'm still using my Note 7.
Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Jennifer.legacymutual.com.
So now I'm kind of like in my spare time. I'm using air quotes, but in my spare time I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to use, like what next phone I want to go to. Do I want to go with a Samsung like Edge, which doesn't have the note feature? Do I want to go back back to a Note 5,
Conroe
the
to
previous
Galveston,
generation,
Orange
because
to
there never was a
Flatonia,
Note
and
6?
all points in between,
Or do I want to
Texas
go
General
like with
Insurance
just a
Agency is
Droid
trusted
phone
by
straight from Google or
individuals
something like
and
that?
businesses
So I haven't
across the
decided
great
yet.
state of Texas. Whether you're searching
Yeah, pretty much.
a flood policy for a Galveston.
Yeah, I like the Droid operating
for your
system a
rental
whole lot better.
investment homes in Houston, Texas General Insurance Agency understands your unique needs. Throughout the Lone Star State, their experienced and trusted independent agents offer guidance to clients on the risk-based needs associated with auto and home, investment properties, commercial, and farm and ranch coverage. Their commitment to quality and service allows them to compare multiple markets, coverage, and price to give you the best possible value. Texas General Insurance Agency appreciates the opportunity to learn how they can work for you. Call one of their experienced agents today at 713-622-5977. That's 713-622-5977. Or go to texasgeneralinsurance.com.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or
So
reach
Phil,
us
you
on
think
the
I should
web
go with a
at
Note 5? I had a Note 4
Fast Track Remodeling
before I upgraded to
specializes
the
in
Note
turnkey
7.
remodeling of single-family investment properties, whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab. We manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly
Actually, I have to
efficient,
say, I
standardized
do love my
process.
Note 7.
Over the last 5 years, Fast Track has completed over 500 projects, which has helped us create our
And this
3
thing
keys
never
to
gets-
success.
it's never
Give you a
gotten hot.
detailed
Now, I'm not
scope of
saying that it
work
won't,
so that
but-
everything gets done. Train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right, and complete the work in a
So
proper
if this
order
actually,
so it
if,
gets done
if you're
fast.
watching on Facebook and I'm holding my Note 7, if it explodes or something like that, somebody call 911, okay?
Really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992. Again, that's 832-742-9992, or on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Having financial independence and wealth empowerment is the American dream. Learn what the wealthy know. Get strong returns and never lose your principal. That's the Heroes Talk Radio way. Learn about the secrets of planning a tax-free retirement income. Listen every Monday at 1 p.m. for Heroes Talk Radio on Business 1110 KTEK. You can also call us now, 866-544-7755. That's 866-544-7755.
Get ready, get set. Game-changing radio is here. Business Newsmakers Radio with me, Lou Guarino. Every show we bring you the hottest business newsmakers from all over the globe. Our newsmakers share their views on what made them so successful
20
and
seconds.
how you can benefit
What?
from their expertise.
You say was. It's still a great phone, Phil.
No way, man. I hit them hard with questions that will give you something powerful to make a difference in your business today. The secrets of success are with me, Lou Guarino, right here on Business
Although
Newsmakers
apparently I can't
Radio.
fly.
If I-
So I guess Hawaii's out of the question if I keep my phone.
10 KTEK. Hot mics.
This is
5,
Business
4,
1110.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. I give the phone number out of habit, but I don't even think there's enough time for another caller. So going back to the question that Bruce was asking, so how do you do financing? So I would buy the property on hard money. If my ARV, my after repair value was $120,000, I want to be all in at about $84,000. Now I'll tell you this: those kind of deals in this market are hard to find. But for every, let's say for every dollar over the $84,000, just know that that's going to be out of pocket. So if you're out of pocket $5,000 or $10,000 or $15,000, that's probably not a bad deal when you calculate your cash on cash return, which is essentially, let's say that you could calculate that you're going to earn $400 a month. Positive cash flow, after you've collected your rent and you've paid your taxes, your insurance, and your mortgage debt, and that's $4,800 a year divided by $15,000 of out-of-pocket money. I mean, that's a 32% cash-on-cash return. I don't think that's a bad deal. And when you stop and think about, all the tax advantages that you get, the depreciation you get, all those kind of things. So imagine that even if you're in that property for that would make it, if you're all in for $99,000, you'd be able to borrow the $84,000, and then you'd be able to do a rate and term refinance with a Fannie Mae product and get your interest rates down to about 4.5%. And then a lot of y'all are like, but Tom, mortgage rates are at like 3.5% right now. Yes, that's on your own personal residence. They're about a point higher when you're talking about investment properties. And so the way Fannie Mae works right now is if you're just doing Fannie Mae as the purchase price, any bank will only lend you 80% of the purchase price. So in this scenario, if my purchase price is $64,000, they're only going to want, even though I'm doing $20,000 of rehab dollars in there, they're going to want to loan 80% of $64,000. So that would be $51,200. And so by doing that, I have to pull the $51,000. I can borrow the $51,200, but the spread between the $51,200, that other 20% plus the $20,000 of rehab, all of that's going to. So I'm going to be almost $33,000 out of pocket. Now, my cash flow is going to be a lot higher because instead of borrowing $84,000 and having about a $750 monthly payment, I'm only going to be borrowing $51,000, which means my monthly payment is going to be about $450. So I'll have about a $300 a month higher cash flow because my monthly payment, but I'm going to be a lot more. It's going to lower my cash-on-cash return because I'm going to have more money in the deal. So it's always good to look at what is the having more money in the deal due to my cash-on-cash return versus being more leveraged. The more leveraged you are, the more it typically increases your cash-on-cash return. Because if you can get to zero money out of pocket, you've got an infinite amount of return on that. So imagine if you were getting $200 a month cash flow and you only had $1 in the deal. Your rate of return would just be astronomical. I mean, you could do the math on that. What is imagine getting $2,400 a year in cash flow divided by $1. So I mean that's a 2,400% rate of return, right? So you've been listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. We will be live from the class tomorrow at 9 a.m. So look forward to seeing Jason and I live on in the class. You've been listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. All right, thanks everybody. Thanks for listening to the show. All right, we're gonna save on and Bruce. Hopefully that answered your question. And Ginger, I think I got yours. And so can you speak about? Okay, did that. So I think that covered all the.
Hey Tom, don't disconnect. I want to talk to you when you're off Facebook.
Okay, that sounds. You want to just call me then? Call me on my cell phone?
Yeah, I can do that. I'll call your cell phone.
All right, sounds good.
Medicare
All right, bye.
coverage.
Bye.
The news reports say that the rates might be going down.
The government